So I have actually managed to get the 3 posts that were sticking up the highest, the same level as everything else, which I wasn't expecting. So now I'm going to start arranging things where I want everything, making the holes for the raspberry canes to come up next week. And I'm not going to put the netting up by myself because I'm going to look like a complete ass, because I'm not going to be able to do it by myself. I'm not that stupid. And there's no point putting the door on yet because I'm going to be going back and forth. Okay, so now I need to fill that hole to put the raised bed on that hole. I think I might rake some of these chip-ins into that hole over there. That's a good idea.
A very warm welcome. I am back down on the plot. You will have to excuse the sniffing and the heavy breathing. It was the start of a cold. There was lots of heavy lifting, lots of using my shovel and rake and pulling and pushing going on during this video. I had a really good time actually.
Look at how lovely that looks compared to this side where it originally was with the tarp. If you can see down here, I've got tarp just there, weed membrane tarp. So I have to remember that when I'm putting new things in this area to check there's no tarp, but there's none here whatsoever. And this looks absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to dig down in this now. Okay, so the hole there, that's been filled up with what was on top. Now I am going to put the bed there and then figure out which way around it fits best without having to do too much hard work, because I don't want to have to dig out extra bed if I don't need to. So it might just be, instead of it going across, it might just mean it comes down this way a bit more, so I've got less to dig. I think that's a good plan, but I'm going to put the bed there first just to see how much extra I have to dig. So I'm literally just going to lift this bed, leave the compost here. If I had the wheelbarrow here, I would shovel it all into the wheelbarrow and then move it over, but I don't. And I'm not sure how much hard work it's going to be to do it all bit by bit. Let's see how I get on doing this. But I do, while we're talking about this bed, so I took out all the cauliflowers because they all got thrown away because of the aphids. The 2 I did manage to harvest, 1 was fine, all the rest was rubbish. I have got some flowers growing in here and some potatoes for some strange reason, which I don't want or need. Okay, so as you can see, that came up quite easy. It's only been in the ground a few months. Well, on the ground for a few months, so I knew it wasn't going to be difficult, although there is a spider there. Oh, right, have you gone now? Okay. So what I'm stood on is the pathway up the side of the plot, which I don't want to put anything on. It's quite a wide path, so I could technically come back, but because of where these poles are, I need to come more forward, which is a shame really. So I want to make sure that there's room here, not for me to come around in weed and pick strawberries, because I'll be able to do it from either side, but mainly because if the plants grow over and start to dangle down, I'm going to need to get to them, which is why I was going to put it this way, but that's fine. So let's put it more central. Okay, so I would say I'm happy with it here. Definitely needs some leveling up this half of it. The other half is absolutely fine. And I just need to remember that there's a big dip here and that we need more chip-ins to put in there. Okay. No, you know what? I'm really okay with that now. The other bed also needs moving. Yeah, this would have been a perfect bed for the brassicas, which is why I put them in there. However, they just did not do well without having cover over them. And even when they did have cover, they still got infested. Those blooming aphids can get everywhere. It's really quiet here today. I've seen one person to talk to. A couple of people left just after I got here. I promise I don't smell. But there's people that have left now. Fees have just been paid. So there's some people on my side. So this is the new side that are no longer here for whatever reasons, giving up their plot or not able to tend to it anymore. All sorts of reasons. So it's pretty quiet, but I am looking forward to meeting new people, because you never know what you're going to get with allotment. You don't, it's not just full of old people, I promise. It's such a variety of nationalities, ages, and you pick up so many more hints and tips if you're getting them from all different types of people. It's lovely, it really is. So yeah, so I know there's some up this end, and I think there's a couple down that end as well. My pocket is getting very full. Okay, let's just pop that down. And then I've still got more cardboard because it would just completely flatten once I add compost to it. Oh, that was a big label. It is a time consuming thing. What I try to do is take the labels off at home before I bring it up here, so I don't have this issue. But this was a last minute, shove it into my mum's car, get it up here. Okay. So take the time to check everything over to make sure that there isn't anything else. Okay. This is a big one. This had my new shovel in it. So I've got two. One at home and one for here. So I have two boxes this size. So let's fold that in half. I'm not very good at lifting my foot up high enough, am I? Haven't seen any robins or any birds or anything this morning. Excuse me doing that on my nose. I have got a tissue somewhere. Oh, my tissue got stuck on a label. Right, last box. I'm definitely going to have to empty my pockets when I go back down the other side. So I'm putting the gloves on, although the pole is new and it's not going to hurt my hands. Everything counts. I'm going to use this for now because I haven't got a wheelbarrow. I'm going to just do a few loads of that from this compost just to put over there, just to hold the cardboard down so it doesn't blow away. I don't think I'll be able to get it all up, but I will try. My snazzy shovel. It definitely smells like there's manure in this one. Okay. Oh. One of many, I think. So that is a flower there. Let's take out any of the flowers, because I can replant those. It's a shame I'm moving this bed. I've got so many potatoes coming up. And giant rocks. Okay, I don't think I'll be able to do too many of these. It's hurting my back already. That's pretty straight. I've also got 2 troughs full of compost, which I'm going to come and bring down here as well. Okay, so another 2 rocks, 3 rocks. Need to really do something with these rocks here. Rock, gosh, a weed, another rock. Okay, so this is 2/3 of the way up. I know it will still drop. The plan, next time I'm down, get the strawberries in, including the ones that I'm looking after at home that were my mum's. Get them all in, give them a really thick mulch, and then that mulch will break down over the winter until spring, which will give it a little bit more height to it as well. And then in April to May time, I will mix in one more bag of compost in with it. I'm not going to put no manure in it. I'm just going to put a bag of compost because it hasn't really had anything growing in it apart from some cauliflowers. It's still got a lot of nutrition in there. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of bloodfish and bone on it, and that's it. So it's just a small sprinkle going in. Okay, and that's it for that one. So these are the strawberries. I'm gonna use 2 hands. I'm not going to cut them down as of yet. I'm just going to give them a little shake, just so I can see how many more I can fit in that bed. As you can see, the roots were shallow enough for me to be able to do that. And let's see where the one ends and another one starts. That is a piece of plastic stuck in that. Okay. The reason why I'm taking off some of the soil that's around the base of these is because they didn't do too well this year. I don't think they went in enough nutrient rich soil. Another bit of plastic I've just found. I mean, that's never good, is it? So that's 2. I've got lots of worms in here. So all of those ones over there is what I broke off. So that's all the newer ones that have, so these ones have created runners, planted these ones. So they are a newer crop. So they are in that corner there. I put the bigger ones around this edge. And I pretty much have the same again at home, ready to come up here. So with that being said, and the fact I want to make strawberry jam, I am going to place another raised bed. So this one needs to be moved because, as you can see, it's past the pole. So I think I got enough room. If I move this one down, and then as you can see, I've got enough room in the middle there for another one. So I'm actually going to go for 3 beds of strawberries in a line down here. Yes, that back bed is bigger, and I've got 2 of this size, and that's absolutely fine, because the ones that are going to go in these beds are a different type of strawberry. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have 3 beds of strawberries here. They love the sunshine, so the sun comes in from this direction. I will pop some basil in and around the strawberries as well to help deter any pests. And then, so this is the doorway here. Let me move back so you can see the doorway. So that is a doorway there. So the beds will fit exactly in that space, going down, like you can see the line of there. So they'll all line up nice and neat on this side. So I want to be able to walk straight through from one side to another on a path through that way. 2 mini paths just here, and then on this side I am going to do the row of raspberry canes all the way across. That is the plan. If I do not get the kiwi berry or the gooseberry in here, I don't really have an issue with that because I can grow those at home. Because the gooseberry gets quite big and bushy, so that one needs a little bit more space. But I'm definitely more into developing more fruits from what I want to eat as opposed to what I want to grow.
Moving on to the next raised bed, emptying it out so it was light enough for me to lift. It was still very heavy even though I emptied some of it out. It didn't go as smoothly as I thought it was going to go, these raised beds. I had this image in my head, this plan of where everything was going to go. But things changed. OCD set in a little bit with the different raised beds and the different sizes. And I do like things to look really neat and tidy. It's just my thing. So if I can have it matching or, generic looking, so to speak, then that's what I will do. But this was a lot of hours at the plot, I think 12 in total. And it definitely didn't help it with it being so cold, and it made me sick, shall we say. And because of that, I had to stop all the shoveling and all the heavy lifting and things like that. But I was really proud of myself on this day to get as much done as I did. It was hard going, moving everything over and leveling things out and just reorganizing and rejigging things like you do, because you, as much as you can have a plan in place for how you visually want to see it, sometimes physically it just does not work when you put things where your plan says, and then you relook at it and you're like, actually no, that's not going to work. You have to take into account where the sun is, which is your windiest direction, what's easy to get to, can you sort out the weeds, can you pick the fruit, is something going to overgrow it into something else? What's going to grow bigger? Is that going to then overshadow something else? So there is a lot to think about when you are placing a new area on your plot or in your garden. There's a lot, where are the pathways leading up to the fruit cage? Currently I've got it in a way where the door opens the way I don't want it to open, so I will be swapping that door over. It's just things like that. It's a lot of trial and error with this kind of project. But the fruit cage, wow, it definitely took it out of me. It was a lot of hard work, a lot more than what I thought it was, and I have done it all on my own. But no, I'm definitely gonna cheers myself with a lovely cup of tea once this fruit cage is complete. That's for sure. So it was about at this point I realised that I must have walked too far away from my phone with my microphone, because it didn't pick up any sound whatsoever. Now, these are new microphones that I have bought and a lot more money than my original ones. So I made sure that when I purchased these ones that they did actually match up with the length of my plot, so I should be able to walk around quite freely. However, they just decided to cut out and they were fully charged. So I've had to edit out a lot of the footage of me telling you what I'm currently doing. So knowing that I've got the space for 2 more raised beds in the fruit cage, I knew I had some raised beds that I previously bought a good few months ago in the shed. So I thought, right, now's the time to get them built, give myself a break from all the shoveling. It was about 2/3 of the way in when I realised that these were actually square and not rectangle like I needed. So I did take a quick break and I did order 2 rectangle. I actually bought 2 packs and gifted some to my daughter for her new plot. Um, in the green colour again, because I can't seem to get the light green at all. So I ordered them from eBay and I purchased some more beds. So I thought, well, I have these anyway, I may as well make them, and I had to find somewhere to put them on the plot. And I think where I've put them has actually worked really well. So what was a fail has actually turned out to be quite a win. What I will put in them, I have no clue. And you know me well enough to know that I will find something to put inside them. In fact, I think I already have. I bought some new seeds for a new crop I've never grown. And I think one of these beds will be perfect for that. So yeah, so I placed them down, give them a little move. I tried to keep the pathway flowing as much as possible because I like a nice flow. So I popped these in and I think they actually look pretty good. They do need to be positioned a little bit better, dug down just slightly, just so the wind doesn't flip them over, and filled in all sorts like that. But again, that's not the top of my list right now. It is getting the fruit cage finished. So yeah, so do you like my new beds? Square ones. I don't know what possessed me to buy square ones. I must have had an idea in my head somewhere. They may have even been for my home garden, and I brought them up to the allotment thinking they were for the allotment. So once I've edited out all of my speaking parts, my video was quite short. So here's the last little look of everything going on, and the fruit cage will be continued another day. So look out for that one. Thank you very much if you're a subscriber. If not, it's free to subscribe and you will get notified when I put out new videos, which is quite frequently, because I haven't quite organized what days I'd like to pop them on YouTube just yet. So thank you very much for watching. I very much appreciate it, and I'll see you again very soon.